guys, my name is Serena Poon, and welcome to my show, Serena Lives. As a celebrity chef, nutritionist, and entrepreneur, I'm incredibly passionate about helping others live their best life through methods I call culinary alchemy, which is the magic of combining education, integrative and functional nutrition with healing intuitive energy. So, with each episode, I'm going to share with you the inspiring stories of some amazing people, incredible entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds, all who have overcome challenges in their personal journeys to get to where they are today. And today, I am so proud and so excited to introduce someone who embodies the definition of the ultimate successful serial entrepreneur. Formerly a rocket scientist at NASA who trained astronauts to fly space shuttles. He took that genius and he created and built and sold multiple companies in the e-commerce space, and then took that genius, that business special savvy of his, and he combined it with his passion for health and wellness and bootstrapped a little collagen company in 2014. That collagen company grew into a mega brand and became a household name, not just in the collagen space, but an absolute force in the entirety of the health and wellness industry. And despite all that, he's still calm, he's still super cool, and he is humble beyond words. Please welcome my ever-inspiring friend and the CEO and founder of Vital Proteins, Kurt Seidensticker. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be a part of the show. So.
No, I mean, you flew out here to share your wealth and knowledge with our audience, and I'm so happy and so excited. You are all over the globe all the time building this incredible brand.
Yeah, I'm always on the go, but happy to stop in and have a talk with you.
You're the best. So I know there's so many questions that my audience has just because of what you've built and what you've done, but because you're on Serena Lives TV, the first question is always, what happened? What inspired you to create Vital Proteins? What was it in your personal journey?
Yeah, when I back in 2013, when I was working on trying to figure out what my next venture was going to be, I actually was trying to get back into running. My running had always been a big part of my life since I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And I used to love going out running 4 or 5 days a week. And what I noticed was happening to me is it took me longer and longer to recover from a run. Mm-hmm. And you hear about people having to give up running when they get in their late 40s. They're basically hanging up their running shoes, as they call it. And I really didn't want to do that. I knew that was in my future, but I wanted to change what my future outcome was. And so I started looking as, why is that? Why do you have to hang up your running shoes when you get older? There are some people out there that can run into their 80s, which is amazing. But for myself, I was thinking, okay, what do I need to change in my life to be able to continue to run?
Right.
And so I started looking at my diet. I think that was kind of my first thing. And so right around then, 2012, it was when the time was paleo was just coming out.
Yeah.
So I kind of changed my diet. I got rid of a lot of inflammatory foods. I started taking, getting rid of dairy, getting rid of gluten and other things in my diet. That didn't quite reduce the issue, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'd go out for a run, my knees would just hurt like crazy for about 5 days later.
Wow. And one run, 5 days of pain.
One long run, and then 5 days of pain before I could get back out there and run. And I wasn't able to maintain my cardio health. And runs became more of a challenge because you really, when you're a runner, you have to be running every day, every other day to maintain your cardio health. Mm-hmm. So changing my diet didn't really fix the problem. And I started looking at what was going on in my knees. And I started thinking about what I must be rubbing bone on bone or degrading the tissue there to a point that my body just can't rebuild it soon enough before I went out for a run. So looking at the knee structures and trying to understand what those were made of. My daughter was in medical school at the time, and so she kind of gave me some advice, and really looking at the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage was all collagen structures. Mm-hmm. And so I started thinking, well, I need to maybe take collagen, I need to eat collagen in order to repair my knees. Right. And from there I said, okay, well, how much, I think the evolution for collagen came about, I started doing research to figure out how much collagen do you actually need? Sure. How much does your body need? Mm-hmm. How much do you need to include in your diet? And I came across a paper that had just been published in 2012. It was glycine, glycine's role in the production of collagen. Mm-hmm. And in that paper, it talked about your body really needing 15 grams of glycine a day. And you could get 3 grams from your diet, and you could get 3 grams just through synthesizing protein. But you were still short about 9 grams of collagen, or sorry, 9 grams of glycine. And that 9 grams of glycine equated to about 20 to 40 grams of collagen. And if you looked at what was in the market at the time, it was collagen tablets, but those tablets were all, contained like 375 milligrams. So you really needed to take like 80 to 120 tablets a day to meet your collagen need. And I said, wow, I'm not going to do that.
Right. Drinking pills all day.
Yeah, really out of my own need, I decided to figure out a way I could create a collagen that was clean and was actually nutritious, that you could just add to coffee, you could add it to water, you could drink it, had a great flavor profile. The reason why collagen was in tablet form is because it didn't really taste that great. So I spent like a year working on trying to develop a formula that was very clean, odorless, tasteless, and 90% protein. So
so it becomes truly accessible for people to really take that in. I love how your story also starts, it's sort of founded in that self-care. This is running is something that you love to do, and clearly a form of self-care for you. And that even though there was something happening with your body that was making that difficult, you just sort of dived right in and said, no, but this is a priority in my life. And this is something that I want to continue to do. And then you created this brand with all these products, not only for yourself, but for everybody, to simplify that process.
When I was looking to start my next business, I really want to integrate health and wellness into what I did next, because that was such a part of my life. And part of my character is to like to help people. And so what I wanted to do is create a company that would actually go out there and help people and kind of change the way we looked at health and wellness. More of an integrative approach.
I love that. And I think that's why there's always been a natural synergy, because our ethos is the same, our philosophy is the same. We have our brand, which is Just Add Water, and the slogan for that is simplify your self-care, right? So it's all about making it as easy as possible to take care of yourself. So you started with this first product, and now you have so many. I mean, I'll be honest, I think there's maybe 30, 40 plus products in your
it could
line.
be 30, 40, 60 maybe.
Maybe 60.
We just keep innovating, right? One of the goals here is really, collagen in powder form, pure powder form, can be added to your diet, but you also want to give people variety and opportunity to include collagen into their diet, right? So our philosophy was, okay, our blue collagen peptide tub is really our hero SKU, but really there's people who are looking to do more. They want to actually, one thing we did with our consumers, we understood that they were adding our product to coffee, and so we started asking them, what would you see as the next opportunity, or what would you like us to develop? And the collagen creamers were, came along and have become quickly like one of our number 2 SKUs. And so it's really listening to the consumer and asking, what do they want? What do they want to do in their diet? People were kind of moving away from coffee and going into matcha. And so that was kind of our next evolution as well.
So, I love that. I love that you're really creating products that are for your consumers, and you listen to them and create accordingly. So one thing that's obviously really important to people is the transparency behind the products and the sourcing. And that's one reason why I fell in love with your company. It was one of the first questions that I asked when I first, met you guys a few years back. And I'd love for you to share that, because I think that's so important, and that's what sets you apart from other competing brands, is how you guys source, where you go, how you do it. And if you could explain that a little bit.
When I started the company, I had no intention of it growing to the size that it did. Really, my goal was to kind of solve the personal health issue that I was having, and then provide that to others. And one of the goals of the early foundation of the brand was authenticity and transparency. And if you look at our canister, it has a cow on it, right? So the idea was to really educate people about the benefits of collagen, but let them know where it came from, and then also look at sourcing. We wanted to be able to sustain or source our collagen from pasture-raised, grass-fed cows. And we want to let consumers know about that. So we were the first company out there to really educate people what collagen really was, because other people were just calling it collagen, and they didn't put an animal behind it. They made people think that maybe it was made in a lab somewhere. But our goal is to provide that full transparency, and we've even gone as far as if a consumer calls in or wants to know more details about the source. We keep really great records and can give you, micro tests, heavy metals tests, and we do a whole array of other tests on the product to make sure it's clean and healthy. And I'm pretty open about what I share, so I'm willing to share that with anyone.
Yeah, no, and I love that, and I feel like you're setting an example actually for a lot of other companies who are, basically trying to follow your lead. And so I think that's a great example. So these are great, these collagen waters, and I know so many people. I mean, honestly, especially here in LA, you walk down the street and you see somebody holding one of these bottles. It's great. Pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
So tell us a little bit about the different flavors, and I think it'd be really interesting for our entrepreneurs out there, like how you chose to brand it the way you did. I think it's really smart.
Yeah, when we look at the product, the idea came about is people were taking collagen and they were making it, but they wanted a more easily accessible on-the-go product. And we kind of have a philosophy at the company that we really want to keep things simple elegance and keep things very minimalistic, but keep it whole natural foods. And so the idea behind this product is we were going to create a lightly flavored water, but make it with real fruits, but not high in sugar, right? So we try to keep all these at like 1 to 3 grams of sugar,
right? Which
and
is great.
And no artificial sweeteners, no added anything, right? And to do that, right, if you look at the commercial market today in beverages, there are a lot of extra ingredients in there, but they do that for commercialization of the project, and that commercialization compromises some of the qualities of the ingredients. So our goal here was to develop a beverage that we didn't have to compromise, that it's straight collagen, straight fruit juice, and keep the sugars low. And so we developed this aseptic technology that gets a product that tastes as almost though it's a fresh pressed juice, but the goal is to keep it very light water and very lightly flavored. So we didn't think that what we're trying to do is move the palate taste of consumers to less sweet,
100%,
and not depend on these really bold flavors, right?
Yeah,
it's all about hydration and health. So,
it is, and it's about minimizing all those extra synthetic, unnecessary additives, unnecessary sugars, and I mean, beyond just providing people with a simple way to take care of themselves, I feel like it's bigger than that. It's like a movement. Like you really are actively changing people's health by offering them something that can change their palate. So it's incredible, really. And I am grateful to you for being such a leader in doing that. There are obviously a lot of consumers that are vegan and vegetarian who, they want to have this, and maybe from an ethical standpoint, it's a challenge for them. But you actually offer a couple products, don't you, that are friendly for vegans?
Yeah, we have some collagen booster products. So our Beauty Boost, we have a hyaluronic acid product coming out as well. And those are all
a new product.
Yeah, new
product alert, guys.
Should be out in a few weeks. We don't have a name for it yet. We're still trying to struggle with that. And but the idea on those is they're vegan, right? They're so a lot of them are, like the hyaluronic acid is made from fermented probiotics, and that keeps it very, very clean and away from animals. I think when you look at our main products, right, we have a fish-based product, which takes the scales and the skin of fish, and then the bovine base, which takes pretty much the hide of the collagen. Right. So what we try to do is say, okay, we're not actually raising or slaughtering cows for their hides, right? This is a byproduct that goes into the leather market, right? So if you have leather seats in your car, or you have leather shoes or things like that, we're taking that product and actually turning it into a healthy benefit. So the goal here is to really treat the animals well, or make sure that they're treated well, and source the ingredients on a secondary market that we're not actually cultivating animals. Right.
And I think that's why there are a lot of people in the plant-based space that support your company, and your ethos because of that. I certainly do. So, well, I would love for you to share just some of like the highs and lows. Just as an entrepreneur, there's so much that you've already done even before Vital Proteins that I think the audience is really almost like itching to hear. Like, what are some golden nuggets that you can share?
On the Vital Protein side?
I mean, just as an entrepreneur. I mean, as Vital Proteins, or even as a whole, I mean.
One thing I always kind of give this advice: if you have an idea, you should start working on it. Don't take that thought and turn it into a thing as quickly as possible, because what you find is I've met many entrepreneurs, and I've been this way before, is that you have this idea and you work through it in your mind for months.
Yeah.
And the opportunity passes, or you don't execute, right? And I think the best way to get into starting your own business is to actually start implementing something right away and learn from your consumers what your brand is and what they want from you as far as products.
I think that's a great piece of advice, because waiting is not going to get you anywhere, right?
No, we always use a thing internally called we sprint, and meaning we execute very quickly, and that's trying to maintain that entrepreneurial spirit. So you always have to be entrepreneurial in whatever you do, and there are some risk taking, right? You're gonna put your life into a position where you've got to make yourself successful. So coming from that, I've noticed that there's been some really exciting marketing campaigns that you guys have been a part of in the last year or so, different partnerships and collaborations. And for the few that may not know about it, could you share some of what's come up? Yeah, I know. Just recently, so one thing we do is we try to maintain that authenticity in relationships. So a lot of our relationships are friendships with our customers, and it's not really sourced or paid for. But we had Kourtney Kardashian reach out to us back in December and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about launching this company. I'm a big fan of your product. I'd love to work with you guys." And we said, "Yeah, let's do that." We've known Kourtney's been a customer of ours for a couple of years, and I think that friendship that we had with her was a clear step to actually do a little campaign with her push. So.
That's awesome. And I think that's actually a really good piece of advice as well for entrepreneurs. It's just people don't always know where to start. How do they move up to the next level? How do they do partnerships and collaborations? And it's just look within your own space, right? Your own tribe.
Yeah,
and it's all right there.
Yeah, if you look at the way we started the company, we started doing a lot of events like trade shows, consumer events, just getting our name out there and meeting a lot of people. And through this networking, you develop friends, and those friends are empowering your brand, and they're out there talking about your brand. And I remember our very first show that we did was PaleoFX back in 2014, and Melissa Hartwig with Whole30, and she came in, and her and I talked for a couple hours about the brand, and Mark Sisson as well, and doing that, I realized that developing these friendships and networking was key to our marketing strategy.
Yeah, and that's it's really the best foundation to build, right?
Yeah.
From there. So and you did this on your own before you took in any investment money, right? And I think that's something that in and of itself is so powerful. And I'm there myself, as just a self-funded, company. And, I think that there are a lot of people out there that are kind of in the same position, or they started in the same place. And, what are some of the takeaways that you have from that?
Yeah, if you think about starting a business, right, you're not going to get outside money to fund your idea, right? You have to take your idea and actually turn it into something and make it successful first. And with Vital, we had such tremendous growth early on. We really didn't need to take on venture capital. I wasn't actually out there searching for venture capital. They actually came to us.
Right.
And just like Whole Foods came to us as well, to say, hey, we want to carry you nationally. And that opportunity to have a venture capitalist come to you and say, we want to invest, versus you going out there and pitching, it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
Because you have actually the opportunity to develop the brand the way you want to, and you have additional funding if necessary. So we didn't quite need funding, but Rohan with Kavu had come to us, and we had been thinking about developing a beverage, and I thought the opportunity to have a partner like Kavu has done so many amazing beverages, and Rohan's experience with Vitamin Water and Smart Water and Bai and Vita Coco, right, probably influenced me to say, hey, this is a good partner to bring on to help us get to the next level and to grow our beverage lines.
So I'm not sure you can totally answer this question, but I'm going to ask anyway, about some other products that you guys are playing with, products in your pipeline. I know you mentioned there is a hyaluronic coming out, which I'm really excited for. What else is there that, what are you going to go past the beverage space, I guess is the
Yes, we
question
are.
of- You are?
Yep, there's
That's
a
exciting.
pipeline of innovation that's coming along over the next 12 months that
Awesome.
will kind of evolutionize collagen and its consumption. So my
Mm-hmm.
thought is that if you look at where collagen is today, right, it's in the whole
Mm-hmm.
body section of the nutrition supplement section.
Yep.
And if you really want to help people, you really need to get further out into the grocery store. You need to be on the perimeter. You need to be
Sure.
in center aisle. You need to be in the cold box section. And so some of our innovations are really meant to give us accessibility or give consumers accessibility to collagen
That's
and
great.
make them aware of it. I still don't think the whole consumer base is really aware of the benefits of collagen. So our goal is in these innovations to bring it to
Yeah, no,
market.
that's
So,
awesome. That's awesome. The more people that know, the more people you can help, and they can
Yeah.
help themselves, which
Yeah.
is really what it is at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yep.
It's incredible what you guys have done, what you have done.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that you came today and that you shared, your story and what you're doing. Can you share with us, for those that don't
Yeah.
already know, where we can find the products, where we can find you online?
Yeah. So like our collagen waters, we just launched them. They'll be available nationwide in Whole Foods starting in now. I guess it's this week that we're launching it.
Wow, this week. Okay.
Yeah, this week. So, and you can also get it on Amazon and our website as well. So,
And that's www.vitalproteins.com. And you guys on social, everywhere is just at Vital Proteins?
yep, at Vital Proteins.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Serena.
Thank you guys for watching and catching us on Serena Loves TV. You can binge watch all the episodes at evertalk.com and on the EverTalk app on Apple TV and Roku. We'll see you guys next time.